It feels to me that if you solve the ownership experience, then the financial thing is solved as well. Because if you make it to where someone really wants it and feels like they want it, then it'll tick the box for also becoming a financial asset, because then there's a real desire and demand. That makes sense.
For sure. I think that there are other ways also to turn it into a financial asset, and we are going to do that in the future. So what that means is that once everybody has these shards, right, nothing prevents people or somebody like us of taking like all of the shards of all of the Warhols that we have ever fractionalized and putting them in a pool, which essentially is a fund. And now there is a Warhol fund across all of the Warhols that have been fractionalized by us. And then that fund tracks the performance of the Warhol. So now it becomes a tracker of that artist. Or you could mix and match different artists into composite funds, like a contemporary art fund or an American art or British art. So, and then what happens through the magic of blockchain and all of the protocols that have already been created, you don't have to do anything new. You can not just spot trade those, but you can also short them. There could be derivatives. There could be speculation of all sorts of different interesting kinds. So all of that is coming. That's in the future. Right. But first, we need to bring this asset class to blockchain. The more, the better. There is $1 trillion worth of it that needs to be ported over, that needs to be migrated over. So our goal is to get as much of it to blockchain as possible. Some of it will come as an extension of careers of existing artists who are just entering the digital space anew, like a new medium. Some of it will come as fractionalization, tokenization of physical masterpieces that are already out there in the secondary market or in the primary market in the case of living artists. Some of it will come from emerging artists. So we do free mint a day now. Every day there is a free mint by an emerging artist. And so that's emerging artists are now kind of through the same platform, through the same system, entering blockchain as well. We also have educational products. We have one of the top 15 Telegram games in the world right now. And that game is getting millions of people into the habit of looking at art, guessing the artist, and associating or guessing a price. So it's like every day, it's almost like a clicker game, similar to a clicker game a bit. So you reveal, the more you tap, the more the picture gets revealed. And the sooner you can guess who the artist is, the more points you get. So it's sort of gamified like that. And what it's trying to do, what I'm trying to do with it, is to get people to get used to art, to what art looks like, and get used to these artists and names of the artists, and get used to the prices that are associated with these paintings, because most people don't know, how much different pieces of art cost. So that when the time comes to tell them, oh, actually, and this Warhol, you can actually own a piece of it, not just click on it and guess a price. You can own a piece of it that will not be a surprise to them. It'll be like, oh, Warhol, yeah, I know. Oh, it looks like this. Oh, I know. Oh, it has this price. Makes sense, right? So this education of millions of people through gamified products is critical to our success as well, because it's sort of, in business terms, it's the top of the funnel that is now educating the Web2 community, Web3 community on what this commercially viable art is.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
So many questions I have, and that's super exciting. I want to ask you about gamification, but first I want to talk about that funnel, because this is, again, what makes you extremely unique. We spent the first part of this conversation talking about one of the top 50 artists in the world who, has works for $4 million, $7 million, $150 million. And you could have maybe stayed in that high end. Again, you have a background with that, and that might be such an obvious call for someone to do this in blockchain. But you have decided to try to attract everyone to this website, which means engaging with people that might not have $7 million, that might not understand that art, that might not have never seen a painting in a museum before. Can you talk about that decision and then the ability to do that? Because that's a very challenging ask, for any team or any company.
Yeah. It may seem so, but if you look at the numbers, it just becomes logical. Because if you look at the legacy art market, and if you look at the buyers in the legacy art market in, $1 million and up, or like $100,000 and up, there are tens of thousands of such people, maybe some low six figures in the world, globally. If you look at people in Web3 who are currently interacting with art-related content, there are millions. And it's much easier to take, people who are already interacting with such content, who are already digitally native, who are already, enjoying memes and maybe have invested in meme coins and in this meme community. So just as an example, for a person like this, it's a much smaller leap to buy a shard of a Warhol than it is for a legacy collector to do anything digital at all.
Okay.
Right? So in fact, the numbers are there. They are like Web3 is like, the art world doesn't understand it yet, but it's a blessing for the art world. It's this expansion of the market that the art world has been looking for a long time, except that they were not thinking about it in the right way. They were thinking about, let's educate, young collectors. Let's educate young people about, let's invite them to museums, the environment of those fancy cocktail parties. And then as soon as those kinds of people get interested in art and they start attending those fancy cocktail parties, they become just like the old collectors. They become elitist. They become, the legacy art world has been awful at maintaining, at community building. That's what it is fundamentally. Awful at community building. It has cultivated this elitist sheen that, certain people enjoy, and that prevented it from growing. Because the community, that's not how you maintain the community. So Web3 is all about the community, as we all know. And so educating that community about the art things, asset class, education, whatever, financial, non-financial aspects of it, is where the new universe of people entering the art world is coming from. There's no doubt about it, just like the numbers are loud in the world. So this decision that you are asking me about was simply a logical and business decision. There's just no other way to grow. There's no way to grow in the legacy art world. The legacy art world is stale.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.